Hey everybody, all right, so we're back with a video here. This time I've got the, I believe it's the Manscape Lawnmower 4.0 wireless charging. The issue with this one was the battery basically went bad. It wouldn't hold a charge for more than about 30 seconds. It would take a charge pretty quick, but anyways, I'm a little disappointed with this thing because my wife bought it for me for Christmas of 2021. And I think by October, we were kind of starting to really notice this issue. Now, some of the instructions, they tell you you're supposed to occasionally run it completely dead, and I don't think I ever did that. And another thing that I think was kind of going against us was, I believe this might have been my fault. I told my wife that it was waterproof. So one time I think she submerged it in water. So on the battery pack here, I did notice that I had some corrosion right around here. I believe there was some around a couple of these microchips. So I took some isopropyl alcohol and brushed it off really good and got it as clean as I could. And I found what I believe is a decent replacement battery on Amazon. It's a lithium ion. It's a 3.7 volt. Oh, here's actually the original. So there's the numbers on the original. And I believe I got a 750 milliamp hour battery as a replacement. It does appear to be functioning. Here's the activation button. Oops, didn't hit it. There it goes. Yeah, so now it thinks it's turned on. And it's sending power to the contacts here. All right, so long story short, this is not a user serviceable part. I'm a little disappointed, as I said, because this thing was about $100 when we bought it. She bought it for me for Christmas. If I had to do it over again, would I ask for it for Christmas? I think I'd be willing to give them another shot. Had we not submerged it underwater and had I drained the battery completely occasionally and then recharged it, it's very possible that it may have lasted a lot longer. But I'm gonna give it a shot again. We're gonna see if this battery lasts. If not, then I'm gonna go buy something else. But I do like it. I mean, it cuts pretty well. It doesn't really give you any issues when I'm trimming my beard or. So when we first bought it, I had plenty of battery power for it to like trim my beard completely, trim chest hair, and my wedding tackle on a single charge without a problem. And yeah, like I said, I'd say probably 9 months in, maybe not even quite 9 months, we started noticing that the battery was dying a lot quicker. And I do think it was shortly after she submerged it though. So that may have done something to the battery and maybe shorted it out here on those contacts or something. So, okay, so real quick, there's like no information online besides one Reddit post that I saw this thing was completely torn apart. So here are the main components. And you get the battery pack and the little PCB with the button. The little button is a little gold thing right there. So this is the main chassis, or main inner part of the chassis with the motor and the little light. And this is a cover, and it is a gasket sealed cover for the battery. All in here. And those are the contacts right there for the actual motor itself. And there's some contacts here on the side, which I think is for the light. Yeah, it looks like that's for the light. There's a little spring for the button itself, the shroud around the button, of course the blade, which that is a user serviceable item. You can replace the blades on that. Here's the outer cover, and I'll show you real quick kind of how to tear this apart. This is the part that you take off first, which is the back where the wireless charging thing part is. Okay, where it makes contact. But you can see these little tabs right here. I was able to use my fingernail and get up underneath it. On the outside of this, it was like that, and I was able to pry it up just enough, and then I was able to take the metal spring that's on the for the trimmer part itself that has two screws, these two here. I was able to take that off, and I was able to pry this up, and I was able to get up underneath here, and because of the pictures that I saw on Reddit, I was able to get to those tabs, push those tabs in, and start popping them up one by one, and I was able to get this off. Once I got that off, there was one screw right here, which is this one little Phillips head screw, very small Phillips head, and I was able to start disassembling it. Again, this is not an easy user serviceable item. These contacts right here, one of them broke off because it's such a thin metal, and I'm just gonna have to kind of live with it. I had to resolder it back on. The battery is actually spot welded inside, so I had to resolder this new battery onto it. You might be able to get away with not soldering it though. You might be able to have enough contact pressure on both sides to keep it from losing contact, but I wanted to do it anyways. But yeah, this is not easy to do. You have to, this is glued on with like a tape or a glue. This pops off and then you gently pull it over to the side. There's these 4 little tabs right here, here. You can't really see it, but right there and right there. You pop that off and you get the PCB off gently. Again, very gently, because all these little contacts are sitting inside this part of this like encasement, this little chassis encasement. So if you're extremely mechanically inclined and you want to try to save this thing, the new battery replacement was like $10 on Amazon. Just make sure you get the right voltage, obviously. I'm going to put it back together and we're going to give it a test run and go from there. But hopefully this helps. Like I said, there was absolutely nothing online besides that one Reddit post with a picture. So I'm going to get it back together and see if it works. Okay, so here's it back together again. It is working. Here's the button. And it is spinning. You really do need to be careful. I had to put it in 2 or 3 different times to make sure the contact was just perfect. And it really wants to pinch the wires for the lights. You gotta kind of pull those out of the way whenever you put it back together. But that's kind of the basic battery and motor assembly. All right. Okay, so she's back together again. And it is working. So putting it back together, I noticed that this outer shroud part right here, on the front side, from what I can tell, you don't have to remove that at all in tearing it down. Mainly just need to remove this back piece here. And as I said, you can pry it up from this seam. And then there's a couple of clips on each side. Maybe you can use a guitar pick or one of those little electronics, tab removal tools or something. Get up in there and pop those tabs out. And you can see after tearing it apart, it's a little bit looser than it was. Now I do believe it's still water resistant because that internal structure is kind of sealed off. But I really would say this is more water resistant than it is waterproof. There we go, let's back it out a little bit. So we'll see how it goes. I would say the difficulty on this is probably maybe like replacing a battery on your iPhone or something. It's not something that's like real easy to do, but it is possible. Just you gotta be super careful with those metal tabs that are connected to the PCB, because I had to resolder one of them on and one of them broke. I had to resolder it on, so. All right, well, I hope this helps somebody. Like I said, there's nothing out there, no information at all. I don't know if Manscape is like scrubbing the internet or what, but hopefully it helps. Thanks.